Hi and welcome to the channel. Now today's video is about some tips of mine that you probably already know, but it may be worth having a listen about, because there may be one or two here. There's only a couple anyway, but there may be one or two here that you may not come across. I don't know, you might probably have, but this is about electrical items, and particularly my electrical items is going to be amplifiers, stroke receivers, stroke anything electrical that a sound comes out of, really. But this may vary. Like I say, this could be any item on eBay, really. It's electrical or something like that, something that's not working or not working correctly. And the reason I bought this video is because of this unit here. It's only because I bought this very recently, but this has happened in the past. I'm guessing 5 or 6 times. There is this particular thing I'm going to say now has happened about 5 or 6 times. I've corrected a few people a couple of times. We're going to talk all about that and a couple of more little tips on maybe buying an amplifier receiver on eBay, what to look out for on that. But I'm going to start off straight away, because this is, I thought I should mention it really, because I'm not really looking for much more stuff on eBay. Like I say, I've pretty much done my HiFi channel. There's a couple of bits still maybe to do, to talk about. Probably going to venture into something else, keep saying it, keep threatening it, but I will do it. But this is about this. I bought this off of eBay. This is a ghetto blaster, a boombox, whatever you want to call it, from, I don't know when was it, the late 70s, something like this. This is the very first boombox that I bought many years ago. This isn't it, but it's the same model. I've bought it a couple of times since, and I've decided to buy it again for sentimental reasons. And I got this a little bit cheaper than you normally get it, I think. And the reason I'm going to show you why I got it is because of the tip. This is what I'm getting to. So I see this on eBay. I'm looking around. I think I should get another one, really, just for sentimental reasons, nothing else. And it don't sound too bad neither. And plus, you can connect these up to your HiFi as well. They've got an output here. You can use a little DIN socket here, so you connect this up to your HiFi as well. I'll probably do a video about that, about me taking this apart, though. There is YouTube videos about taking this apart and restoring it, etc. But it's about buying it today, actually getting it first of all. So I thought I'd look around, and one thing coming up, a few obviously adverts come up in there, and I look at this particular advert here. So if I sling the advert up on the screen, this is £24.99 on nearest offer, and as you can see down the bottom there, just highlighting this bit here first of all, is that it says there's no power getting to it, no power at all. And now you're going to get items on eBay that says no power, one channel not working, things like that. And I always try and look for clues in the picture. Is there any clues there that suggest that the seller's made a mistake? And it does work, or it's got a good chance of working. You know, if you was a betting man, would the odds be in your favour? That kind of stuff. And I'm thinking, have I got a chance? Is it worth the outlay for the chance of the reward kind of thing? Not that we're earning fortunes here, don't get me wrong, but don't forget you can always resell this back on eBay. You may lose the postage it's cost you to get it to yourself, that kind of thing, but you can always resell it as spares or repairs. There's always people looking out for this stuff. So anyway, going back to this particular item, is there any clues there that this he's made a mistake here somewhere, that it isn't working, and the chances are I'm going to get it home and it is working. The odds are in my favour, and I'm going to get it cheaper than what I would normally pay for it. So if we just zoom in at the back, if I turn around this, this is quite weighty as it happens. We won't zoom in at the back yet, but this is quite weighty. For any of my regular viewers still using this amp, yeah, I'm getting really to like this little amplifier. It's been here ever since. Anyway, that's this Nico 330. Okay, so at the back, he's took a picture of the back, a big picture there. I'm going to stick it up on the screen now. But if you zoom in, you've got a zoom feature on your, on eBay. You can zoom in on pictures. A little magnifying glass comes up, and if you zoom in onto that on and off switch at the back, you can see he's got it in the off position. So yeah, he may have took the picture with it in the off position. But this is a seller. I looked into the seller, and he sells lots and lots of items. Like he's probably a warehouse clearance, not a warehouse clearance, an house clearance, something like that, or gets a load of electrical stuff kind of thing. Kind of one of them sellers that do it, day in, day out kind of thing. And he may not put a lot of time into actually testing stuff. It may be just a matter of plugging stuff in, turning it on, nothing happens. Well, that don't work. Get on to the next one because I'm a busy person. And I think this is the case with this seller. And that switch was over in the off position. Now you've got to know a little bit, you've got to have a little bit of a clue here maybe on this particular item, because there is a little 9-volt power supply there, and you could think that switch is related to that 9-volt power supply, but it actually isn't. It's the actual main switch. It's actually got written on it main switch, and I knew that. It's got main switch, and you've only got to zoom in probably to the picture and see that. So the main switch was in the off position, so you turn it on, plug it in, there's maybe a chance that it's going to work. And that's the chance I took, thinking that if it doesn't work, I may be able to mend it anyway. Maybe it's just something to do with the power supply, because it's actually got a fuse inside this unit. It's actually a fuse inside as well. So I knew that. I had a little bit more of an heads up, shall we say. But it's still things that, to look at for yourself if these switches are in the wrong position. I'm going to give you another one example on eBay now that's live now as I've done this video of today. I've only just bought this recently. And like I say, I paid £20 for it. Flipped the switch over, put it in, turned it on. And of course it's all working. And since then I've took it apart, I've cleaned the controls, I've swapped over the belts. So now I've got myself a great little machine now for 20 quid. So, and it weighs an absolute ton. No batteries in it at the moment, but I will put some batteries in it sometime. And it sounds okay, it sounds pretty good as it happens. And just to give you an instance, I did have someone, just very quickly off topic again here, I did do a review of this ages ago now. I think this is about 30 quid I paid for it at the time. It went for around about that. I think it's gone up to about 33, 36 pound. So a little bit dearer. I said it was okay-ish, it was okay. And someone come back and said it was a load of rubbish kind of thing. But for what you're paying, £30, I thought it done a reasonable job. It's only a 101, but I still think it done a reasonable job for 30. What do you expect for 30 quid these days? For £30, I didn't think it was too bad. Talking about that very quickly, £30 that cost. Today this would cost you, without a doubt, £300. This would be £299 in the shop without a doubt. Weighs an absolute ton, built like a tank, got a good cassette mechanism in it and sounds pretty good as well. So that's without a doubt, it's a good little bargain for £20, that's for certain. I don't know how much they go for normally, obviously a little bit more than that maybe. It's all intact, all the area, all the buttons, everything else is all good on it, just a few little marks. So I've done okay, I'm not saying I've done fantastically, but I saved myself a little bit looking around. Okay, so I'm going to go on to another one that's live now. And this is a Sharp GF 1990. If we look at the little wording down here, it says only one channel works. And this is, I look at the sellers to give an idea, do they deal in this stuff? Is it a one-off item that they may have come across somewhere at a boot sale or something like that, or a local jumble sale in the UK, something like that. They may have come across, someone may have given to them and that. And if we look at it, the seller says only working on one channel, but if we actually zoom in, you can see that they've got the balance just on the right channel. They've only got the balance. They've started pushing all these knobs forward, thinking, well, should we be getting some sound out of this? I'm not saying this is what's happened, but it's a chance of it. Pushing all these knobs forward, and I'm only getting one channel, and they haven't bothered flicking that balance into the middle. Now, it's not guaranteed to be that, but there is a chance. There is a chance there. So now you're taking your little bit of a gamble again. Is this the case here? So that may be worth a punt if it doesn't turn out any good. You can't mend it, if you're not in a position to mend it or have a go at mending it, then maybe just relist it. You may have lost a little bit on the kind of transaction with postage, etc. But just the things to look out for here. Now we're buying other stuff. No, just before I go on to that, we're going to talk about amplifiers and receivers next. And I've bought, I think, one or two in this particular case. I think I bought myself a JVC 100. It was quite a while ago, and there was another item as well, and I've corrected people as well. We'll come to that in a minute. But where they said there was no sound coming out of the unit, if we take a closer look here on this particular unit, these are my only demos to give you a demonstration. I couldn't find them pictures, they was a few years ago now, but to give you a demonstration, they had the tape monitor button pushed in on the sound of that, and I thought, oh, what's the chances of that? They're plugging in something to auxiliary or to the tuner, and they've got that tape monitor pushed in. They haven't plugged anything into the tape because they haven't got a tape. They're thinking that's where the tape goes. They haven't got much of an idea of how units work. So they plugged it into auxiliary or tune or something like that, and no sound is coming out. And all it was a matter of just actually flicking that switch back into its normal position, and thus whatever they got selected here on the input would come out of it. So that's something else to look out for. And that's happened, I think twice that's happened to me. I'm just going to show you another picture of this Sansu 331 with that button in. Like I say, they may take a picture from a distance, zoom in, see where the buttons are positioned, may give you an idea if they're a person that don't deal in that item non-stop, ID, they're not an HiFi seller, they're not an electrical seller, it's just a one-off item. You may be able to grab a bargain that someone else hasn't spotted. You've got a little bit of a chance of nicking a little bit of a bargain now. Now I've corrected a couple of people, a couple of items I didn't, weren't too interested in or whatever, and I thought, look at who the seller is, and I thought I'll send him an email, give him a hand. I think it's happened about 3 or 4 times actually, and another couple of times I've had an email back saying, oh, thanks for, I've seen it for sale, not working, no sound. The next minute it's been taken down and it's been relisted as working because me mentioning that button just needed a press or whatever. And a couple of times, like I say, they've come back and said thank you. And a couple of times, I think out of them, I can't remember exactly which ratio, but hasn't bothered saying a dicky bird, but yet again relisted it as working. So, you know, I think sometimes is it worth it? It ain't. But I always look to see who's selling it. If it's a person that's dealing it left, right, and centre, like a shop clearance, you know, it does that kind of thing. He does house clearances, I say, not shop clearance. House clearance is nothing. Well, he earns enough. He goes around clearing people's houses for next to nothing. Let him get on with it, kind of thing. Hopefully, someone else has got the other end. But if it's, you know, an odd person who I think, you know, sending a bit of tack kind of thing, you know, maybe I help them out kind of thing, I do go across and put them in the right direction. Now and again, don't do it all the time, don't look at everything, I ain't got all day have I to look at everything, but if I spot something now and again, it does come up, so it's just something to look out for. Another obviously then rusty screws, look at the back, zoom in, any signs of rust on the screws. I know it can just be external, but there's also a chance of that being kept in a place where it's been damp, etc. So, you know, inside could be quite rusty as well. You could, you know, open it up and you think, oh, I've got a right mess here, kind of thing. So that's another thing to look out for, is rusty screws, any rust anywhere really, especially on the back. Have a good look, zoom in, and the pictures will tell you quite a bit, I think, you know, give you an idea of maybe what you're getting, condition it's been kept in, all that kind of stuff. But don't be put off by people that said they've got scratchy controls, they've turned the volume, it's crackling and all that, it's making a, you know, thing, one channel drops out here and there, because most of the time you just need a little bit of a spray in there, so you should be able to get into it, make sure it's turned off obviously, get yourself a little spray, cleaning spray. It doesn't have to be expensive, it doesn't have to be a deox spray, it can just be a little cleaning spray, a cheaper version, £6 or something like that, that'll do the trick and get it up and running. Doesn't always clear it all the time, don't get me wrong, but it's something else you may be able to pick up a little bit of a bargain of. That's all I'm saying really. So I think I've really covered what today's video was really about. Like I say, maybe grabbing yourself a bargain where the seller has made a bit of a mistake, they're not used to the items they're selling, they're guessing a little bit, and you can pick up a bargain. Another one of them is also, is go back to these house clearance people. A lot of people, these house clearances people, I've noticed, and I bought, I can't remember now, but I've definitely bought a couple more items off of them as well over the years that I've been doing it, is that they have everything for sale as parts, not tested, something like that. They just want to cover themselves. They're not interested in actually seeing if it works 100%, because you've got all these knobs, buttons and all that. Everything's listed as not working, so the chances are you will pick up an item that actually is working. They just haven't bothered doing that, you know what I mean? They haven't got the expertise, or they just can't be bothered. They just rather sell everything bid up as not working, then there's no problem there. Once you've got it kind of thing. Now, obviously I've opened up a little bit of a can of worms, not like I've got a million viewers or anything like that, but there will be people, maybe if they watch the video, obviously some of these people are back kind of thing, that think, oh, my amplifier doesn't work at the moment, but what I do is I'll sell it and I'll push that tape button in, and you won't have, you know, people think, oh, the tape button now. So kind of opened up maybe a very, very small can of worms that people may do that. And one thing I also noticed that people do as well, I've had it myself in the past, is when I've sold something is not working, which I have done. This is a few years back, before I really started getting into the channel, a good few years ago now, where I couldn't be bothered, or didn't bother trying to mend stuff back then when I was working and doing other things, and I was very busy. I bought stuff, I did say that it's sold as not working, does not work, end off kind of thing, no returns on eBay. And that doesn't always mean, just because you put that down, just want to warn people really, if you put that down, the seller can still send it back. This is what I'm saying, because there's a few get outs. First of all, you're selling, they get a 2-week thing to return anything. I think that's the law. If even if you've got it not working, they still can change their mind and send it back. It may cost them money, but the get out normally is with people like that. I found that, like I say before, when I bought stuff, didn't work, didn't have the time to mend it, didn't have the space and time. Like I say, I was working and that, and weren't really that interested, because I was getting really reasonable, decent money at work and that, etc. Is that they say, get it down the other end, and they say, I want to return it. And so it's sold as not working, but it's been damaged. It's got damaged in the post. And I've had it a few times as well. So now, even though it don't work, you sold it to them as not working. They know that, but it's been damaged. So you've got that damage against you. So now they're going to send it back for nothing. So it's just something to be a little bit wary of. I just thought I'd mention it because I'm trying to cover everything here, all bases kind of thing. Okay, so the next video, I'll say thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon.